At all times, social pedagogy has been about building a relationship between the individual and society. As each era and each society have their own specific societal challenges, interpretations of social pedagogy have received different emphasis at different times and in different societies. It is reasonable to ask what is characteristic of today's social pedagogy when viewed in relation to the societal and planetary challenges of our time. According to Millennium Ecosystem Assessment, written by 1,360 scientists all over the world, already in 2005, human activity is putting such strain on the natural functions of Earth that the ability of planet's ecosystems to sustain future generations can no longer be taken for granted. We are living in mid of planetary crisis. In the era of planetary crisis, human life and well-being is intertwined with planetary systems. The greatest challenge of our time is not purely a social ill, but a social ecological ill. In other words, there is connection between social violence and environmental violence. Why do we collectively end up to results nobody wants? Current model of well-being in Western world tells us that increasing consumption is the best way to have a good life. We do not talk about sufficiency. We do not talk about an optimal state of being, or how much material wealth is enough for us, or how big should our economy be. We are just used to think that more is enough, a little bit more than we have right now. In fact, customers who shop only to meet their needs pose danger to ever-growing economy. Our societies are dependent on citizens who do not define what is enough for them. However, according to Asian wisdom, you are rich if you know how much is enough. Maybe we should ask bigger questions. What really matters in life? What counts as a good life? Or what is human excellence? Or how to reach an optimal state of being? How to be all you can be? Or what is education for? Next, I consider the kind of pedagogy that could support transformation of the human conception of reality at individual and community levels into a form that recognizes the connections and interactions between people, society, and the planet, and builds an ethical orientation. As a result of my argumentation, I develop a picture of planetary social pedagogy. In East Africa they used to say "Mua ni chakula," which means rain is food. This refers to the system's thinking. Our planet is a system of the interdependence. All components support each other. Effects of everyday choices occur far away from us. My behavior affects other people, nature, and economy locally and globally. The challenge is to identify what kind of systems we are associated with in our everyday life. Systems thinking focuses on relationships between elements. This is the reason why we need spatial orientation in our education. Nowadays, local and regional and global living environments overlap. Citizens circumvent national borders using the internet. They make friends and buy goods and services globally. There is a growing need for planetary orientation because the globalized economy is able to connect people and nature throughout the world, through their daily choices in unprecedented ways. At the same time, the ability to understand the cycles of materials and the impact of everyday actions is disappearing. The temporal dimension of everyday life is associated with the past, the present, and the future. Even if the future is abstract and invisible, human activities will ultimately be judged by future generations. The question is, how will we be remembered by future generations? From the perspective of history, it would appear inevitable that a systemic transformation is needed for the flourishing of humanity, because business as usual appears to lead to dystopia. However, a sustainable future cannot be built without learning from history. The future is a result of our collective actions today. A bundle cannot be fastened with one hand. This wisdom is from Sierra Leone. On a finite planet, integrating the human and non-human world is becoming an imperative. To be able to flourish in co-evolution, human beings need to assume a planetary responsibility that broadens their circle of morality. Therefore, I propose that the circle of morality needs to be associated with a sense of responsibility that varies between individual, collective, and planetary responsibility. Planetary responsibility combines human and non-human reality. Planetary social pedagogy is creating hope in dystopia. It is based on the fact that human life is a part of the complex social ecological web of life, which requires human beings to expand their circle of morality into a more than human world. By doing so, people learn to take care of both human and non-human world in their everyday life. Liang Thinley has said, "Happiness cannot exist while others suffer. It comes only from serving others, living in harmony with nature and realizing our innate wisdom and the true and brilliant nature of our own mind." What is education for? Maybe the quality of education, society, and culture is determined by Earth we live for the next generations. Maybe we need full humanness as a goal of life. The aim of an intelligent, living, and sentient human being is not only to adapt to changing environmental conditions, but also to strive to act in such a way that the evolution of the human beings and other species can take place in harmony. Elements of human flourishing are non-material. They can increase forever. But standard of living is based on material things. They can't increase forever. What would you have in day-to-day life if you lost trust to other people? If you lost your life satisfaction, or your meaning in life, or your purpose? I think we need spatial orientation, temporal orientation, together with ethical orientation. And all this is based on Systems thinking. My concluding remarks come here. In Nigeria, they used to say, "Hope is the pillar of the world." Hope is the pillar of the world. Thank you.